to Little Lady Lane. My name's Jamie and today in the kitchen we'll be making pizza pockets. So one of our favourite things to do is get a big stash of pizza pockets made. So for this recipe I measure out 300 grams of warm water and I add 2.5 tablespoons of yeast and 2.5 tablespoons of sugar. I do mix that through just to make sure that the yeast gets coated in the water and then wait till I see some bubbles and action happening so I know that my yeast is active. And once that all comes together and it's looking great, I add a kilo of flour to a bowl, all-purpose flour. I mix in the water mixture that I have. I also do 150 grams, usually of olive oil. I think on this particular day I didn't have enough, so I did mix in whatever I had on the shelf, which I think happened to be a vegetable oil, which we're trying to avoid, hence why it's still on the shelves. But I've added that in, as well as 300 grams of cream. I also add 3 teaspoons of salt to this mixture. When everything ends up being combined well, I let this sit to at least double. LJ was wanting to help out in the kitchen and get this mixed together. Unfortunately, she didn't have enough arm power for this, so halfway through she had to hand it over to Dad to get him to finish. For our sauce, I use one of the jars that you can see, the passata jars, which I believe is about 700 grams. I'll add about a tablespoon of lemon juice, a teaspoon to half a teaspoon of black pepper, salt, a teaspoon of oregano and a teaspoon of thyme. I'll bring that to a gentle simmer just to combine all of the flavors together. I do believe on this day, because I'm doing pizza pockets, I've added in some onion powder and garlic powder. Now that the dough is doubled, I will put a bit of oil on our bench top, which just helps the dough not stick and everything rolls out really quick and easy. So for this dough, I've just halved it and then I've made 10 portion sizes. Some of them are larger than others, which works out well for the family because LJ generally will eat smaller pizza pockets than what me and Craig would. So we just get them rolled up into rough sizes. We're not specific with this. You could if you wanted to be, but for us it doesn't really matter. The smaller ones generally the kids eat, and the slightly larger ones me or Craig would tend to gravitate towards. Once the sauce has cooled down, I'll start to add in our cheese. Previously, I've used roughly around 150 grams of tasty cheese or some type of cheddar cheese that you have, 100 grams of mozzarella and 50 grams of a parmesan, something with low liquid moisture content, so you're not adding in a heap of liquid when it's cooking. So I find that the stuff like parmesan works quite well because you're getting all the flavour but without the extra moisture into the sauce. Then I've added some ham and pepperoni for this one, but we also will add in later some mushrooms and capsicum, things like that, so it's more of a supreme style for the fillings. that these have doubled in size since rolling them out. They're ready to go for their fillings. Now, on this particular day, LJ said that she didn't feel like pizza pockets, so I was making, with the exact same dough, just a cheesy crust stuffed pizza style. So I've just rolled the dough balls out, added some cheese, rolled the sides, and she was quite happy with these. I just used the exact same filling, but I did sprinkle a little more cheese on top just for it going into the air fryer, so it looked a little crispy. So now I'm moving on to the pizza pockets themselves. So when I'm shaping these, I just use my hands, I don't use a rolling pin, and I will start to push them out. I tend to leave in the center a slightly thicker area and thin the dough out towards the edges, because when you go to fold it over, you don't want the base to be a lot thicker than what will end up being the top. Once I flip them over, you'll see what I mean, but you sort of want to keep the dough evenly distributed. I find that the dough is quite forgiving, so once you get your general shape done, you can flip them over and sort of shape them back into that pizza pocket circle style like you would get if you were purchasing them from the store. But my goodness, I didn't realize how expensive they were. A 4-pack from our local IGA is close to or just under $10 for a box of 4, and we're making 20 for probably very close to that same price. This was LJ's cheesy crust pizzas, which turned out pretty good. I think I would make these again actually for ourselves. I would probably pre-cook the base just a little bit though, if I was going to make them any larger. So with these you could put any filling in that you like. We've even made before cheeseburger style pizza pockets. This was from another video, but they turned out pretty good too. So once you have your pizza pockets ready, I would, if I'm cooking them in the oven, I preheat the oven to 190 and then I cook them for around 16 to 19 minutes. This particular occasion our oven isn't working, so I have cooked them in our air fryer, and I've done the same 190 degrees, and then I've cooked them, flipped them over just to get the base a little bit crispy as well. So these are from the air fryer. They look really golden and crispy, and these, you can see a slight difference in color variation, but these ones were from the oven. So I hope you give our recipe a try if you love pizza pockets just as much as us, and keep us posted on what you think. Have a great day. Bye.